Welcome to Quick Shots, a short format traditional archery podcast, where we introduce you to some of the world's most influential traditional archers, and occasionally, some random dudes.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to sorry, let me start again.
Oh, I'm taking up his space.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers. I'm here with Breaking Trad, the brand new podcast, not brand new, but newer and just doing amazing work. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Doing all right.
How are you?
Pretty good. So I'm just gonna let everyone know this is take two. This is take two. My fault. I didn't hit record on the first one. We had it's like this isn't the greatest song on earth. It's a tribute to the greatest song on earth, if you get that reference. But anyway, so we're gonna go around and just introduce yourself and tell us what kind of bow you shoot. Go ahead.
All right. I'm Amanda Gray. I shoot a Black Widow, PCH3. I also shoot a Northern Mist Baraga also.
Nice.
I'm Alan Marcy, and I'm shooting a Matthews takedown recurve and a Northern Miss longbow skein takedown.
Awesome.
And I'm Matt Reno, and I shoot a Sino Art 30-pound recurve.
I am Brittany Reno, and I shoot the same Sino Art Black Hunter copy, I guess, recurve and longbow.
Nice. So you guys have this amazing podcast that you're doing with amazing guests on. I've been enjoying it. I've told you guys, that I've been listening to a few episodes, and it's been just so good. You guys got a great little shtick sort of thing going on with the four of you guys that, you're hitting everyone up back and forth, asking questions. I love it. No one else is doing anything like this. So why don't you guys tell us, why are you doing this? What was your motivation to create a podcast?
Oh, first off, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We all hang out
Sometimes-
together anyway. So
Sometimes, unless you don't hit record.
That just means we get to talk to friends longer.
Right.
Exactly.
Aw.
So-
Shucks.
So our mission as a podcast is to, bring new shooters to the sport. We try to alleviate any anxiety that new shooters might have trying to get to these different shoots and things, and mainly we're trying to portray the atmosphere and the community of the sport, really, because you get out here and people might think, I know Matt, it was 2 years before I could get him to a shoot.
yeah.
But you want to get out there and you're like, oh, I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to, make a fool of myself or whatever and stand out there. But really, that's not what it's about. We're trying to say, come on, just come on out. Let's shoot. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about,
Well, you guys do a fantastic job. So sorry to jump in, but you guys do a fantastic job on your podcast because you get great guests, first of all, and you got this great banter between you and the guests. But then you, at the very beginning or at the very end, and the last one was at the end, but you tell people about your shoots, the shoots that are local. And I think that is amazing because, again, I keep saying amazing because I really like your podcast. But it is because
we'll take it.
Yeah, no worries. So because you're exactly right. There's so much friction into getting into traditional archery that, some people are just nervous. They don't know where to begin, where to start, how to pick it up. And you guys are telling them, hey, at the very end of your podcast or at the beginning, here's where you can go to do a shoot.
Right.
And then the other thing I want to touch on a little bit is that, and we'll get back to your podcast in a second. When you guys go to shoots, you guys load up the truck to go to shoots. Is that right?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes. Lots of trucks.
Well, yeah, we load down 2 SUVs, and then Matt and Brittany, they bring along the campers. So it's we split the
It's
site,
really
and we
3
just-
cars and a camper.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
three
It's
cars.
3 SUVs. One SUV is for the children.
Right.
Oh,
Another
okay.
one is for the gear, or 2 are for the gear, and then
Yeah.
the camper to stay in. So
The gear's the interesting part. The gear's the interesting part because this is kind of unique. Well, I don't know if it's unique, but it's really great that you guys do this. You bring a ton of bows with you and
yes,
arrows.
we
And
bring
go ahead.
everything we have. I was just saying, we bring every bow we have, and we have a pretty good collection going. And then we have a bunch of random arrows and just.
I think we got everything from 300 to 800 spine, cut,
Wooden.
very.
You got the wood arrows mixed in there. We have everything.
Yeah,
And
because
you-
Amanda wins a bow, everywhere we go. So
Yeah.
That's true. So you tell us the story about the winning the bows because that's unbelievable. I mean, literally, that is
Why
the
not-
coolest thing ever.
Why don't you tell them about that PCH3?
Okay, so my Black Widow, I won it about 4 or 5 years ago. They did I was at the Howard Hill. They did a card raffle, so I spent $20 on the ticket and won that bow. And then before that, the year previous, I had done a raffle where you just drop the tickets in the bucket and won the Northern Miss longbow. And then I've won other bows that people like, used bows that people have donated to do the raffles and all kinds of stuff. So
and that's why Brittany lets her touch her tickets
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they enter a raffle. Now.
everybody does. And then everybody tells me I'm not allowed to participate anymore. Like-
Yeah, I
look,
wouldn't let
I've-
you either.
I've been banned from buying raffle tickets.
Okay, so at the Howard Hill or whatever, they got the pavilion there, and you go up to the pavilion and you register to shoot, and then you can buy, like, they'll do little giveaways, not giveaways, but raffles. Yeah, so you spend what, $20-$25, and you get arm's length, a span of tickets.
You just find the tallest person there.
Yeah, you got to find the tallest.
Right.
And they do
But
their
you can hear people like, no, like in the background, you can't buy any tickets.
yeah, they'll like
Buy no tickets."
they'll be at the practice range yelling
Don't let her buy tickets.
80 yards away. You're not allowed to buy any tickets. They just, I mean, all in fun and game. They just like to give me a hard time, but
But you are
Uh,
winning. You are winning that. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
you got like you must be made out of rabbit foot or something. I don't know. You're that
Something.
lucky. You're that lucky, that horseshoe or something like that.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start carrying a lucky Manda foot.
Oh no.
She might like to keep her foot.
yeah, I might need that.
Just put your sock on the keychain wherever I go.
I would definitely advise against that. You don't want my sock on your keychain.
So you guys have a lot of fun, and it's nice that you guys are a nice community too. I mean, you guys got your families are shooting. Does everyone in your family shoot?
Yes.
Yes.
Every single one.
Every
Yeah.
single one of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The older ones
Not
don't
all
get
the
to
time,
go.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like any other teenager, like
Yeah.
Landon, he's a heck of a shot, and then it's like trying to drag him off the Xbox,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey, our middle child, like, I don't know what happened this year. She turned it on something
Yeah.
fierce.
She's been doing great.
And then like this Panhandle 50, it was a whole discussion. We were trying to figure out how we were going to get down there, right? And it was in Pensacola, excuse me.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, so we're going to have Kelsey and Kimmy, and then we're going to load up in this car, and then all of a sudden, Kelsey's not going. Like, what's going on?
You never know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
they
it's
go,
kinda
sometimes they
just
don't. But our oldest
miss.
two they have jobs and stuff, so they don't really. Colby is 18. He graduated last year, so he's kind of got his own thing going. And then our oldest daughter, she works and she's in band and color guard. So a lot of times she just can't go because football season started. So
Kimmy
Yeah.
was at the last one, wasn't she?
Do it now.
Mhm.
Kimmy was at the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, she did.
but it's definitely a family thing and a family and friends. Like we've all been friends for what? Addie,
11
How old's Addie?
Addie will be 8 in February, so
So
7
7
years. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
So
wild.
the-
Wow.
And there's a funny story to how we met too.
There
So
is.
is
Is it PG? Because
It's
Yeah.
PG,
It is.
Yeah. We were all camping at a local state park, and my brother's like, "Hey, some friends of mine are here. I want to introduce you." And my first thought, And I even said it to him, was great. Another one of your douchebag friends.
Yeah. And it turned out to be true.
well, to clarify, his brother and my brother were friends. So I was like, because immediately after that was said, like, or told to us, I was like, oh no, he is my brother's friend, not my friend.
Not the other way around.
Right.
And then, of course, Amanda and I hit it off. Like, we went to school together, but never really knew each other. So we hit it off, and we're I guess pretty much best friends instantly.
Yep. we even work together now in
Yeah.
the same at the same
really?
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
We spend literally, it's like every waking moment. Sometimes we probably want to kill each other because we're together all the time.
But this playful banner that you get, with the podcast and everything else, this is natural stuff, man. Like this guy's one-liners right here have been going for, I don't know,
As long
8
as he's
years,
been able to
7 years.
talk.
He's quick.
We should mention to everyone, at least my viewers, that you guys are from some state in the South there. What was it?
Oh,
So I'm trying. I want to guess.
Roll Tide.
Florida?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So you guys are from Alabama, but and that's
Yes.
great. And I didn't realize is that a big? It seems like it's a big trad community.
well, it's kind of weird. It's like if you've never been, if you've never seen it, you wouldn't even know it was there. But when you get like, if you present yourself to the community and things like that, if you show up, like it's insane the amount of people
Yeah.
that actually shoot traditional.
And a lot of the people we shoot with at our local shoots, like our Alabama shoots, they're coming from all neighboring states. You got Mississippi and Tennessee, Florida. Everybody comes over, but I mean, they're all like
Georgia there.
family to us. My mom and dad have shot for a long time, and so now they're best friends with everybody that lives in all these different states. So it's a really large Southern community, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. In Kansas, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. As you know, we're in the middle of everything, but nowhere.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot. We don't have as many trad archers as I feel like so many other states do. I mean, there's so many in Pennsylvania. I mean, Pennsylvania is ridiculous. And then I know you guys had Jonathan on your show. We're going to get to that in a second. He was on my show one time. I asked him, so where do you sell most of your stuff to? And he's like Pacific Northwest. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I would have thought it was Pennsylvania or like New York or, those states that have a massive amount of people. But anyway, and then so in the South, that's pretty awesome that you guys have that great camaraderie. How did you let's go back to your podcast though, because I do want to talk a lot about that on this show because it's so good. And if you have not checked it out yet, go over to Breaking Trad. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, and then they're on most if not all, anywhere you get your podcast from. So just download, listen to some of the great episodes. Don't worry about the ones that are 5 into it because they didn't have the girls then, and it's not as good. Trust me. So, but you guys have a great dynamic. I love it. I love this is unique to podcasting and traditional archery. Just having the four of you go after and attack people basically when they come on your with questions.
I know it can seem like that sometimes.
We have a small amount of time and a lot to get out.
We're trying to push a lot in to 30, 35, 40 minutes, that kind of thing. So you kind of just got to hit one right after another. And before you know it, so we'll be sitting here and I'll be like, I'll tap my watch. Matt's our engineer, right?
Yeah, sound engineer, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll tap my watch. He's like, oh, we're already 20 minutes in. And I'm like, oh, crap, we got 3 questions we still got to ask, So we try to just run through,
Yep.
It is great. It's great. But I do expect you guys to break into a song because there's a guitar up there. You're from Alabama. You guys have great audio. I feel like you should be singing or something. Give us a sweet home Alabama. Give us sweet. Let's do it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Really?
No.
Really?
Sweet home Alabama.
These 3 can
I'll go ahead and throw it out there for you.
Oh my God. Man.
Actually, these 2 guys are pretty great musicians here.
Yeah.
They both can play pretty much anything they put their hands-on, and it's just crazy. It's sickening, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm very
I-
jealous.
I actually wrote our intro music too. So
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that intro music, that was him. That all
Oh,
him,
wow,
man.
that's
Yeah.
Drums, bass, guitar, everything.
wow, that's fantastic. Dude, you guys are impressive. Even more impressive. Hey, so and then you announced something on your last podcast, your very last podcast, that you are now going to be sponsored by Three Rivers Archery.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
definitely.
Talk about legitimizing, your work. Really, I mean, that's sort of what that means, is like, people, Jonathan trusts you enough with his brand, and that should tell people something right there. It's like, hey, go listen to these guys, because they're the real deal.
It just tells us that he's a really nice guy.
Yes.
Nah, he's not. He's a smart guy, right? He puts his money where it needs to be and stuff like that.
I feel like because he does the same thing, you know what I mean? He's always
He
helping
really does.
promote these shoots and sponsoring all the shoots and little fun events that are going on. So I feel like his morals, like his goals, align with ours. Like he wants to see traditional archery thrive, and that's what we want,
Right.
Right.
so
I mean, he did the
it's awesome.
he did the IBO, yeah. Like he sponsored the IBO World
does, yeah.
Traditional Hunters
Yeah.
Challenge, and even this year at the Howard Hill Traditional, or next year, excuse me, 22,
Okay.
he's gonna do the senior shoot off. He's sponsoring the
Yeah.
senior shoot off, and but it was easy for us to get with Jonathan because it's hard to say, like, there's just a love for traditional archery,
Yeah.
the willingness to like promote the sport and everything. I think he kind of just, I think he gets it, he understands what we're trying to accomplish.
And
Yeah.
it definitely made it more real. Like it's not just us in our little shop out here just having fun. It kind of definitely made it more.
But just don't make any mistake, really. When it comes to doing the podcast, as much as too, like it takes a little bit of money, right? You know what I'm saying? It takes a little bit to make things happen. But nobody here is trying to get rich. We're not trying to get rich.
Yeah,
We're really,
by no means.
we're really just trying to make it easier for us to push that sport, push the sport forward.
No, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get rich.
Yeah, you should. Well, you're the looks, right? You should get paid.
Right, exactly. I mean, I have a face for a podcast. Just kidding.
So, no, I hear what you're saying. But it's nice to be sponsored again. I think it's just more around the legitimacy of your podcast, and it just speaks to the fact that you guys are doing something that no one else is doing, and I don't think anyone should try and emulate what you're doing, because it's really cool. And it's your thing, and I think people should tune in to hear that. So,
well, go back to what Amanda's saying. It definitely made it more real for us.
Mhm.
Like it really solidified. Like this was just us having a good time, and then somebody's like, "Hey," so it's like, wow, all right. So I guess we're doing what we're supposed to be doing to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody saw the value in what we had already valued. Somebody else saw that in us, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
let's talk a little archery. So, you guys are, are all four of you, hunters?
I mean, I've just done small game.
Yeah.
Haven't branched out into anything bigger yet. So
when we moved back and forth, like I lived across the street from these guys for a little while, and we had plenty of places to go and shoot, but we've been here for a couple of years now, and I just got it with my father-in-law, so I'm trying to make things happen where I can get into a kind of a hunting club type deal. But it's been a while since I've been in the woods.
I've never been bow hunting. I've hunted with like rifle, shotgun. I've never actually been in a tree stand with my bow, so I really want to. But for the most part, it's just the 3D tournaments are what we're doing right now.
Okay, so are you competitive archers then, or are you doing it for fun?
A little both.
Both.
Well, all right. So that's a difficult thing. I mean,
think
you
it's
think
competitive fun.
It
well,
is.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure,
Like,
sure.
I mean, because you don't want to be discriminated against because you're out there to compete. You know what I mean? But we're competing, but in the meantime, we're having fun. Just hanging out with each other. We're
Yeah.
shooting against each other as well as everybody else.
I'm competing like against myself. If
Yeah.
I shoot 10 rounds in a weekend, it's because I'm trying to beat my own score. I don't know or really care what anybody else shoots. I just want to better myself and my.
And she will shoot 10 rounds on a 30
Yeah.
target course.
10 rounds. Really? That's a lot of arrows down range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll give you a run for your money for sure.
Well, we know another.
They don't
couple-
move. They're not moving fast enough. They want lunch breaks and stuff. And I'm like, who has to eat? Let's go.
That's crazy, especially in the heat out there. I guess, like you guys are even farther south than me, and it is blazing hot here. And
Yes.
just getting out and getting in the woods and doing 3D shoots is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I remember it's 2 years ago now, the IBO Worlds. Man, I was wet the whole time. I felt like I was in, like Vietnam. It was so hot, like, you're
There's
just
no
going through a jungle in
escaping.
Vietnam. Yeah, it was steamy. It was
Yeah.
bad in Tennessee. I don't. And these guys are like the guys that are at the top of the game. They're killing it. They're shooting
Yeah.
12s every single arrow. It seems like a 12. They get like 24 12s on a 30 round course. It's
Yeah.
like,
I definitely didn't shoot 10 rounds on those courses. Like, whew,
No.
that's a lot of up and down and around. It's a beautiful place to shoot. But yeah, I couldn't do 10 on that one. Mm.
so you get it's gonna come out wrong, but there's no other way to say it. You guys get around a lot.
We try.
We try. We really do.
Well, I mean, I guess there's no other way to say it, but yeah.
Well, that's the awesome thing about, because we've been telling and trying to push that on our social media platforms and to send us the flyers for your upcoming shoots. And that's not just to get the word out, but like there's a lot of shoots that we didn't know existed.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to we've went to a good bit of new ones.
Well, this
Oh,
is the
yeah.
month, like, we do all of our local shoots, of course. We
Yeah.
we definitely, just like anybody else, we want to support our local clubs,
Sure.
and the local shoots. And we've been, Amanda and I and Matt and Brittany, we all been to Tennessee once or twice. But when this podcast started, it was like, we got to shoot. Let's shoot. So I think this is the
Yeah.
most we've shot in a single year since the podcast started.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Mhm.
all over the place.
When
Yeah.
did the podcast start?
What was it, July?
June
June.
Was it
June 1st, I think.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't June 1st because the Howard Hill was the 4th, 5th, and 6th this year. And then that's when me and Matt were sitting there talking. It's like, hey, we need to have a podcast.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think the middle of the month.
Yep.
It took about 2 weeks. There was a lot of pre-production stuff, like getting the intro going and things like that. But after that, it was pretty easy. I mean, we get along real well. Everything works. Everything kind of just falls into place. It's crazy to think.
Yeah, you guys have come a long way in such a short time. So
Yeah.
congratulations. It's been really good
Thank
for you
you.
guys. And like I said, you have your own thing that's going on, and the different parts of the show are really cool too. And the other thing I like about it, and it's one of the mandates I have on this show, is to keep it short. Let people get like there's so many podcasts I love to listen to, right? The Push, Stickbow Chronicles, Kafaru, those podcasts are great, and they have a lot of great information. They have great shooters on there, have great detail for a single stringer. But they tend to go like an hour to hour and a half, and I just like I have to break that up. To mow my lawn, this is it takes about an hour to mow my lawn. And so if I can't get your podcast in an hour, then I'm missing the last part of your podcast, man. So, and then we don't get in cars as often, right? I mean, I'm working from home. So all my commutes are just a short, 25 minute, 30 minutes maximum. So, when the podcast, that's what I said to myself too. I was like, if I'm going to do a podcast /vodcast, I really want it to be a short one. So that's why we call it quick shots. That's why it's called quick shots. It's about getting to know you guys. I think we have a very similar mandate in terms of what our show's about. And in the early stages, I was trying to find my identity, what it was about. You guys got that figured out. You guys got that nailed down. You know exactly what you want to do with your show. So, kudos to you and kudos to getting a sponsorship and being able to, actually, that's great for you, because the more you can do, the better. The more you can do, the better, right? So,
well, I noticed so we know a gentleman by the name of Mike, right?
Yeah.
And so he kind of got paired with us. We did a couple of ASA shoots this year. It was primarily the compound and things like that.
Yeah.
And so we showed up as a group when they put us together. Well, Mike had showed up at the same time, and he ended up kind of falling in with us.
He had to shoot with all us trad people.
Right. So we're, you know how it is. Like, you got a glass of target, whatever, but then we get up there and we're flinging arrows, right? So we're just out there having like a great time. And next thing I know, Mike shows up to a shoot holding a longbow, and he's like, "Hey, you guys ready to shoot?" And I just think that, like,
The
that
Howard Hill,
influence.
actually.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, he won
He
it
won
in
it
that
at the
raffle.
Howard
Yeah.
Hill.
That's right. Yeah. Amanda didn't win that time. He won.
No, which I'm so glad he won.
Right.
But he was out there on that shoot. It was all 4 of us plus my mom and dad. So one compound shooter had to get grouped with 6 traditional shooters.
But he probably won it in the
Great.
raffle because he touched your bow at one point, which you had touched.
Probably.
There you go. There you
But-
go.
I just seen like, you got all this, like, I'm not taking anything away from compound shoes, because of course we're all out there doing the same thing. We're trying to do the same thing, but you got to, when it's funner, funner.
More
I
fun.
say funner.
It's
More
an
fun.
Alabama word.
Right,
Alabama
exactly.
word, yeah.
But
It's much funner.
right. So, but when you make it fun, when you're out there to have a good time, I mean, the amount of back and forth, when it comes to shooting and things like that,
Yeah.
it just makes it have a good time.
Makes it funner.
You don't, you're not taking
Well,
yourself
I don't know what
seriously.
you know what you're trying to say. I mean, it's
Yeah.
sometimes you take the piss out of the guy next to you, when you just make fun of them while they're shooting. So I know that, when it's club stuff, and I have a local 3D range here. When it's club stuff and you're just going around, it's not too bad. It's just when you get into the tournaments and stuff, people can be serious, right? I mean, as
Right,
much
right.
fun as us trad guys love to have, it is a little serious because we're trying to win, that buckle and trad. And there's some guys that are just like, I'm never going to do that. I'm not interested in that. I just want to fling arrows. I want to have fun.
Mhm.
And you guys are you guys split finger shooters?
3 under.
We're all
We're
3
3
under.
Every
under.
one of us shoot 300.
I
Okay.
used to shoot split. I started shooting 3 under.
That was
And
on me.
Are you string walking or are you gapping?
No, that's gap. We're
Gap
So,
instinctive.
Yeah, that whole term
yeah.
again. Yeah.
But I mean, there's definitely no string walking. We're straight off the shelf. We just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not taking anything away from string walking at all, by no means. But it's just, to me, like I like the math part of it, the mental part of it. When it comes to shooting 300 to the knock, straight off the shelf.
Yeah.
At 15, I'm point. At 20, I'm 3 inches high. 25, I'm 8 inches high, that kind of thing. And just being able to try to evaluate that on the course too, that's fun to me as well. I don't know about these guys.
So we're nerdy archers.
Yeah, no, and that's good. I mean, if you're a little bit more instinctive, I mean, I started off instinctive. I think that, a lot of us started off instinctive, and I think that you can take a bad rap on instinctive. Like I was saying to you earlier, Byron Ferguson, you guys have Byron Ferguson on your show, which is like, oh my God, right? It's like,
Yeah.
Right.
okay, hey, Byron. I was like, so I was like, that's pretty good. Those guys got some big swingers on their show right away. And so Byron Ferguson's, saying, there's no such thing as instinctive. You're looking at your arrow and stuff. And that was kind of shocking to me a little bit when he said that. And he's like, and then he started talking about being gap stinctive. And I think Matt offered that term up to him, or I wasn't sure who said it, but he said, I'm gapping. And he gave go put a flash. Everyone says the same thing. So if, everyone kind of argues about that instinctive, like there's the flashlight story. Almost everyone uses that. And he used that story too, that he actually did try that. And he realized, I am looking at my arrow a little bit. And so I, as a guy who's, shot a lot of rifles and stuff like that, and competitive rifle shooting, we always tend to think about what that sight picture looks like. What is that perfect sight picture?
Mhm.
And
Right.
and I think that you can't get away from that. And I have a good friend, Jeff Kavanaugh, who's written a ton of books. He's been on my show, or not books, but he's done a ton of stories and on articles that he's written on instinctive. And he puts, he has a lot of good points on why he's instinctive and what instinctive should mean.
Mhm.
And I highly encourage anyone that's listening to this, go, go look at whatever Jeff's put on the web. I mean, it's amazing. And so I think that, me personally, I think that I was seeing a sight picture all the time. So I'd raise my bow up to my face. I'd come back to full draw, and then I would see, the window of the shelf or whatever, right? But it always have to be the same sight picture, and then I had put the animal in that sight picture.
Right.
And so that to me was like, okay, well, I'm actually aiming then, right? It's kind of like a rifle. And if you take a look at like shotgun guys that do shotgun, and again, Kavanaugh talks a lot about shotgun shooters and how they have to be very instinctive, right? You can't put the pin on that bird that's going across, because you're not going to hit it. You've got to lead the bird. Right. So there's that sort of instinctive, how far do I have to lead it? How far is, you're doing a lot of, like you're saying, you got to do a lot of math in your head right away to get all that stuff right. And that's the fun of it. And then the other part of traditional archery that's fun is watching that arrow fly through the air, man. Isn't that the most beautiful thing ever? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't nothing like a solid shot, and you can feel it. Like as soon as you release that string, and you're like, "Yep, that's it."
Unless you drop your bow arm, and then it's not pretty.
Yeah. But that is a symptom of loving to watch your arrow, right? So you drop your bow arm to see your arrow go, right? And that's typically why you drop your bow arm. That's one of them. So do you guys have you guys taken lessons, or are you self-taught, or
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No, I've never had
yes, no.
lessons.
I've never had lessons per se, but
we just get a lot of tips from
Right,
a lot of great shooters.
a lot of the people at these shoots, they influence the different techniques that we utilize, when shooting the bow, or they kind of give you an idea, and you try to kind of run with it, and you try to work with that. Like when I started shooting, I shot, closed my eyes and shot, closed my left eye and shot down the arrow. Yeah. And then eventually I was just like, no, I can't do that. And then you start hearing about people, 2 eyes open, both eyes. Right. So you
Can't do it.
Right. Well, that's the way I go about it now. Anyways.
do you guys literally, do you guys close one eye?
I do. Yeah.
I do.
No.
But like I said, I have my own technique. I'm like, just let me shoot. If a coach, like an actual coach, saw the way I shot, like in my technique, when I get up to the stake, they would be like, what the hell is this chick doing? Because I have my own, like, I put my bow up, I have a wiggle, I gotta wiggle twice. I gotta move my quiver strap.
Everything.
Like I do the same thing every single time. Every single time. Not, I got an anchor behind my ear. If I know I've anchored right and like where I want to anchor, if I have like a raw spot on my neck because I do so many rounds, just like my thumb hitting it.
So you put your thumb right back behind your
I put it right behind my ear. So there'll be a little spot there.
So that's good. They're getting into your back. You get back that far. That's really good. You probably do have a great shot. Has anyone won anything major? Other than a raffle?
I've never placed. That's one of my goals. My goal is to actually place at some point, but I'm still trying to figure it all out for myself. You get all of these tips and everything, and like Matt will tell me something, Alan will tell me something, I'll watch Amanda and other people, but I still haven't figured out what works for me. And of course I need to practice. So
yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's each of us is a little bit different, but just build on that process. I mean, one thing that every single coach says is you have to have a process. You can't get up there and fling arrows. You have to step through your process. And you said you're going to have Rod Jenkins on, or you're talking to him?
Yeah. Actually it'll be next month. I think Not really sure of the date right now, but yeah, next month.
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil things, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry. Okay,
Spoiler
so
alert.
okay, if you talk to Rod Jenkins, he has a very specific process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. I got a video on my YouTube channel. I highly encourage you to go watch it. It's a short one, and it's Rod going through the steps of his process.
Mhm.
And then just think about that. It's hand on bow, fingers on string, anchor. There's a couple other ones I forget. I'm supposed to know these, but I just did the course. But anyway, stop putting me on the spot, guys. Anyway, so if you have a process that'll work great, all you have to do is you can get like so much better so quickly if you just go up and do the exact same thing every single time. I think that it's exactly what Amanda was saying. Is like, if people saw me shoot, they went, but if you have consistency in your shot,
Yeah.
you know where there's going to go.
I mean, and I probably haven't shot as good this year as I have in years past, but I have, no, I mean, not bragging or anything. I do have a big stack of like plaques and trophies and stuff in our house, but I definitely could have done a lot better this year.
She won those in a raffle
Hey,
too.
did you hear that? Did you hear that? That was Amanda's horn.
She's shooting it. She's shooting it a little bit.
She's just humble bragging.
Hey,
I could definitely do a lot better. Like I said, we shot in the Panhandle 50, and I came in second, but Shanna was there and she came in first, and she beat me by like 100 and something points. So there's still lots of room for improvement.
I mean, I think we all need to improve. But
Yeah.
again, if you're having fun, I mean, the number one thing is right to have fun
Yeah.
while you're doing it, and compete against yourself. Now, my ego is way too big to compete against myself. So I'm just, I'm crushed on all these shoots. Every time I come in like, 20th place, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm terrible. I stop. I'm going to stop shooting, but I keep going anyway, because I'm glutton for punishment. But, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. And again, I think it was like you guys said, it's like about the people that you meet along the way.
Mhm.
Like, you guys are great. I want to say thank you for reaching out and talking to us and really setting this up. I've been first of all, I forgot to hit record on the first time we did this. I've been the nightmare. You guys have been consummate professionals throughout the whole thing. And so I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
And we
No,
appreciate
we
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
we didn't mind talking to you a little bit longer.
Right.
I know did you guys so we're filming this and recording this on Friday night before the long weekend. So, and then on top of that, so I'm taking up your time, and then I'm taking up extra time. So I appreciate you saying that, but I do feel really bad, but
Well, I don't feel bad. I mean,
Yeah.
we're sitting here having a good time talking about archery. I mean,
Yeah.
if we weren't talking to you,
We'd be
Matt
talking.
would call me, or we'd be
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
We'd be at the house shooting or something. You know what I mean? So it's no big deal.
We were going to be talking about archery either way.
Yeah, regardless.
you
What
guys-
else we have to do?
do you guys get together and shoot at your house or a property that you own or something like that? And you got some targets
Yeah.
set up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're those people that practice.
Well, not nearly as much as we should.
Yeah.
Well, it's been crazy. Like you said, it's been crazy hot down here. So, like, I
And the
guess I'm a
mosquitoes will eat you alive if you aren't
and I
careful.
guess I'm a special case. I get off on Friday around 10 o'clock, 10:30. I get home and it's like, I could shoot my bow right now, but it is insanely hot. I think I'm just going to stay right here.
Yes.
It's real hot.
And it's been crazy at work for us. Well, just in the last couple of days, and then on top
Yeah.
of the heat. So like,
We
there was
work
no
around the
chance,
clock.
Like,
So
we're like staring off into oblivion just because our brains are burnt.
yeah, our brains get fried. So
So I've been I said we would go back and forth on this. So if there's, I love to ask questions. I love to talk. And that's kind of one of the reasons I do this podcast. But is there anything that you guys want to ask me, or there's anything that I can, you guys take it away? It's partly we're doing a collaboration on this. So you guys, is there anything you want to say to me, or?
Well, I guess, we want to know what what got you into archery? Did you have any major influences? And
Yeah, it's funny. This is like deja vu all over again.
Right. just a different person.
I'm just gonna say the same thing I said
We gotta-
before. It was court ordered, and the judge said either I do archery or I go to the big house. So anyway, I mean that joke never gets old, but
It was a good one. It needed to
was,
be
that was
retold.
so lame.
I mean, this may be the first time you heard it, but I guess that's why we never see you from the waist down.
That's right. That's right, 'cause of my ankle bracelet, and also no pants. But you know, I know
Right.
it's hot down here. So
Well, come on down to Alabama. You really get to see what hot's like.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll make this one quicker. But again, it was my dad. My dad was, I had no idea he had a bow. He went out and he brought it one day, gave it to me as a young boy. You know, I love shooting that thing, and I carried it all around the neighborhood. And by the way, this is something I didn't tell you last time. I carried around the neighborhood, but not only did I love archery, but I also loved John Wayne. And so,
Oh man, the
and
Duke,
so,
that's what
yeah.
I'm talking about.
I love the Duke. And so I had a cowboy hat and I was shooting a bow. And all my neighbors were like, kind of like, what's wrong with this kid, man?
You're just playing both roles, cowboys and Indians.
Right.
That's exactly like I didn't know which one to go after, right? It was like I literally had a white cowboy hat because I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And I was shooting my bow. And back in the day, I'm kind of like Jake Kaminsky. Is like I was shooting a traditional bow, but I was shooting it like a Olympic archer because the only books that I could find were these Olympic archery books, and they anchored always under the chin with the string on the nose, like always on the nose. And I actually put something on my string. So they had these things that, it was called a kisser button.
Mhm.
And, that was so that you had a lot of points of contact. They don't use that anymore in Olympic archery, I don't think, but it was a kisser button. I put it on there, I put it on a little button on, and I'd anchor here, and underneath my chin. And I had great anchor when I was a kid. And I was actually, with having that stupid little bow, it wasn't a stupid, I was having a hard time pulling back. There's no way that I had a straight arm because it was 35 pounds. I was like 9 years old. So I was like maybe to here, and I was like pulling it like at about to 25 pounds. But yeah, I'd always anchor, and it would be just, I was ridiculous. I looked ridiculous. But yeah, that's how I got started in archery. And then I actually, I did that forever. I ended up enlisting in the Army. I moved away. So I spent some time away from archery. But then when I got done, I settled down in Canada after doing some tours. I was like, yeah, I'm out. And then I got out. I went to Japan for a little while too. I spent a year in Japan. And
we want to say thank you for your service as well.
I think
We really appreciate it.
We do.
I mean, we can't let that go, man. Yeah, I mean, like
That's a huge
know.
deal. I mean, we really appreciate it. Seriously.
yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. But like I said before, I just get embarrassed when people say it to
I
me.
know you're turning a lovely shade of red right now.
It's something, it's something that I think you may be born with. I'm not sure. But it's a little bit of crazy. I don't know. But, you just back in my day, and I guess I'm dating myself a little bit, it was the first Gulf War, and, we knew it was coming. I don't know if a lot of Americans know this story, but in Canada, we thought, man, we were hearing a lot, and you guys are a little bit young, so you might not have heard any of this stuff, but we heard that, Saddam's army was like the best in the world. The Israelis were afraid of them and stuff like that. We thought we were going to be in a protracted war. And we knew that we had to go and support, the Americans. And so we knew that Canada was going to go to war. And so I'm just sorry, I'm giving you some background because I think this is important.
man.
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
I agree.
And so I said, I should go. I should enlist, because if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Right. And I would rather, I'd rather me do it than, my neighbor who probably doesn't have that same sort of drive and passion for it. So and again, we thought this was going to be a long protracted war. It turned out to be nothing, right? I mean, we went in there and we annihilated them. But and we won. That was a great war. No, there's no great wars. Everyone, my military friends know I'm joking with that. But the point is that, you know, I enlisted before that happened, before we declared war. Anyone declared war, but we knew it was coming on. I was in basic training in Canada. Yep, we declared war. Quick story, since my mom doesn't watch this podcast. I was in basic training for 4 weeks and I called home. You know, you get to call home after like 3 weeks or something like that. So I called home. I said, "Hey, Mom, how's things going?" She goes, "Where are you?" I said, I'm in Cornwallis, Nova Scotia in basic training. I told you that I was going into the Army. She goes, "I thought you were joking." She said, "You better not be in the Army." I said, "I am in the Army." And anyway, that's my story. Anyway,
That's great.
all right, that's not an archery story, but anyway, so I get back. I moved to Japan for like a year. I come back. I got to watch, you know, some Kyudo too, which is pretty really cool Japanese archery. So I got the bug again. Came back home. Friend asked me to start going out and doing some archery with them. Then I thought that was the coolest thing. And we have some really great clubs in Canada too, like beautiful scenery. But you're right, the mosquitoes will pick you up and carry you away in Canada too. And sometimes black flies too. So anyway, that's how I got started doing back into
Very good
archery.
one.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more, but instead of doing the same one again,
I
we're
want to
gonna-
do it.
yeah, mix up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so who is someone that you would like to interview that you haven't had the chance to?
I think Pamela Anderson. Do you remember her?
Oh, absolutely.
You're really telling your age.
I know. Any cute girls like that, I think I'd like to. No, to be honest with you, I have interviewed. I'm gonna call him out, Jimmy Blackman. Jimmy, I'm calling you out. You know, get on my show. I've messaged you. You said that you were going to do it during hunting season. So I don't know if you know who Jimmy is. Do you guys know Jimmy Blackman?
No,
I don't know who Jimmy
I
is,
don't.
but I'm looking forward to seeing him on your podcast.
Thanks. And I'll tell you why he's important to me. He was an Army commander, and he was in Somalia, and I was in Somalia at that same time. I want to talk to him a little bit about that. He was, you know, at the same time as Black Hawk Down, that whole situation.
Mhm.
You know, there's a lot of cool, interesting, and he's an amazing archer. He's an IBO world champion. He is one of Rod Jenkins' students. Jimmy's wrote a book. He's got a great book out right now. I forget the name of it. I wish I could name it, but he's just, you know, he writes about his experience as an Army Ranger. And just, you know, I get chills down my spine when I meet people like that. And he's a motivational speaker now, but he's one of these guys that, you know, helped people understand gap shooting. So if you're new, like me, who watches YouTube, you know, religiously, Jimmy Blackman was the guy who was teaching us how to do gap shooting. He was the first person he was one of the first people after Rod Jenkins, you know, to come into the, you know, come on YouTube and show people like you can be incredibly accurate without sights on your bow. And this dude was like, you know, he's got videos of him just, yeah, I'm getting a little tired. And he'd show his target, he'd go shoot 3 rounds, and you go down there and all 3 would be in the 10, you know, and then you go, okay, 1 in the 9. And then it's just like, the guy's amazing. He's an ex-Army Ranger, you know, that's a really cool guy. I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got to do to make that happen? I mean, what can we do? Like, can we do anything?
Ping him like a million times. I'll get his phone number. Just call him up. No, he's been busy. I think he's been on doing book stuff and that. And yeah, but by all means, I would go follow him.
That's what I'm writing his name down so I can look for his book.
And he's one of you guys. He's a Southerner, right? You know, he's right. He's out of Tennessee. He's a Tennessee boy, right? So not too far from you guys. Well, pretty far,
Nope.
but not.
Not really.
We're-
We're really
North
only about
Alabama,
2
so-
hours from the state line. So
Oh, are you? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where he's living now. I'm pretty sure he's still in Tennessee, but Anyway, so that's who I'd like. That's my
awesome.
next guy. That's my next big guys after breaking trout, of course, which was
Of
fantastic.
course.
Thank you.
The biggest, right?
Right.
Yeah, the most people for sure at one time.
Yeah, I know. Trying to squish into this table.
Yeah, we're
Like
all,
we love each other.
That's good. You're like me and Tim Nibble.
sounds like a
Tim
party.
Nibble. Tim Neville from the push at ETAR. We were like pretty comfy, cozy together. So anyway, guys, I think we're at time, man. We're
All right.
for the second time we're at time, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Thanks very much to anyone that stuck around and listened to this. Don't forget to go over to Breaking Trad. Make sure that you watch them. Give them a like on any one of their podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll be able to grab them. But hit them up on Instagram so that you can message them and get some dialogue with these guys, because you guys are fantastic and you're great ambassadors to the sport. So really appreciate it.
Well, hey man, can we just say real quick, like, I just want to express how genuine you are. You know what I mean? When it comes to everything, even, the whole, like, the recording issue or whatever. I mean, like, everything you say is legit. I mean,
Yeah.
Very genuine individual, very kind, and we really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you
Yeah,
for having
absolutely.
us.
Thank you for reaching out and doing this. This has been so good, and I appreciate it. Why don't you guys take us out?
All right, Matt, cue that outro.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon, and just have a great and safe weekend.
All
All
right,
right,
you
thanks
too.
you too.